Have you ever gone on a trip and realized that you packed the wrong things? Too much of one thing, not enough of another thing, clothes you lugged around but never wore? Well, me too, but not this time. In this video, I'm going to show you how to pack for a 3-week trip to Italy in the winter in just a carry-on. Hi, I'm Anne with Our Big Italian Adventure. After going back and forth to Italy several times over the past few years, I've got this packing thing down to a science. With a few simple tricks, I can fit just what I need to feel warm and stylish on our upcoming trip to Rome, Naples, Florence, and Bologna. All of that in just a carry-on. Stay tuned. So why am I so hell-bent on carrying everything I need for 3 weeks in just a carry-on? Well, there's 4 reasons. Number 1, the airlines. If you check your bag, there's some decent chance that the airline is going to lose your luggage. Either, hopefully not permanently, but even if just for a couple of days, there you are in your dream destination and you don't have anything to wear. I don't want that to happen to me. Number 2, often the hotels in Europe don't have elevators or have very tiny little elevators that you can't fit a big suitcase in. Or you have to drag your suitcase up a very steep, narrow stairway in an Airbnb or in a hotel. And you just don't want to have to lug something that you can barely lift. The same goes for train travel. Now, on our upcoming trip, we're going to be traveling exclusively by train, and lugging a huge suitcase along the platform and up onto the train is a tough go. Better to have a small suitcase if you can. And number 4, if you are lugging your suitcase along the uneven roadways and cobblestone streets of most Italian towns, you'll realize that smaller is better. So here are some of my best tips for packing in a carry-on for 3 weeks in Italy in winter. The first thing is to consult the weather forecast for your destination. Now, I went on my favorite site, which probably has the most accurate information for Italy weather. It's called Meteo Aeronautica Militare. It's a government site, and so therefore it tends to be more accurate than other sites. And it tells me that the temperatures are going to be between 40 and 60 degrees on average. Sometimes a little warmer, sometimes a little colder, and with the likelihood of some rain here and there in there. I mean, we're banking on the fact that it's probably going to rain. So now that I know what the weather is going to be like, the first tip is to dress in layers. And what I do is I take a base layer, like one of these very, very thin shirts, a sweater. For example, this is a cashmere pullover, and I try to use natural fabrics when possible because they are very lightweight and yet they keep you warm. So I have a base layer, I have a sweater, and then over that I have my puffy jacket. And if it gets really cold or if it's raining, I have a raincoat that will go over my puffy jacket, so it acts as not only a raincoat but a windbreaker. So that's tip number 1. The second tip is to pack a limited color palette in your wardrobe. So for example, I have 3 pairs of pants. I have blue jeans, black jeans, and a nice black pair of pants. And all the tops and all the sweaters will go with all of those pants. That way, throughout your trip, you can mix and match your outfits without getting totally sick of what you're wearing. And you always look nice and pulled together. So my third tip, if you're going on a trip for multiple weeks, is to try and stay at a Vrbo or an Airbnb somewhere in the middle of the trip. Assuming you stay in hotels the rest of the time. You may want to pick an Airbnb somewhere in the middle because normally the Airbnbs will have a washer, sometimes a dryer, but in Italy that you shouldn't count on that, but at least a washer. And you can check on that when you go to the Airbnb listing. But this way, if you have an Airbnb with a washer, then you can do your laundry halfway through the trip. And it's just easy. You can Even if there's no dryer, you can hang it up for a couple of days and you're all set. You're good to go for the rest of the trip. And then my fourth major tip is to wear your bulkiest clothes on the plane, and that way they take up less room in your suitcase. So for example, I have these black boots, which I'll wear on the plane with a pair of jeans and a sweater, one of my heavier sweaters with a base layer underneath, and a scarf and my puffer jacket, and I'm good to go. And the rest I can pack and it'll all fit nicely in my suitcase. So now that I've laid out all the clothes that I want to take with me, I get to see if they'll actually fit in my suitcase. Now, I like to pack my stuff in packing cubes because that way everything is organized, and I always know that this packing cube has all my tops and this one has my bottoms, and it just keeps me organized throughout the trip. But not everybody likes that. Some people like the Marie Kondo method, some people like to roll their clothes, whatever works for you. But anyway, let's go for the packing cubes and see what happens. So in this one, I'm going to put all my sweaters, with the exception of the one that I'm going to wear on the plane. So I'll keep those out. And I'll just put these in here like this. And I'll put my other tops in. And then what I'm going to do is these very thin base layers, I can actually roll up and put in the little space here on the end. And there we go. I think this is going to fit. Okay. See if it'll zip up. Voila. One packing cube down. All right, next packing cube, I'm going to lay my nice pants because I probably won't wear those right away. And then I'm going to put another pair of jeans and my black jeans, and then because there's more room in here, I'm going to put my PJs on top, since that's probably the first thing I'm going to need when I get there. Okay, now I believe that both of these packing cubes will fit right on top of each other in my carry-on. So let's see how this works. All right, so here we go. Let's see if this stuff fits. I'm going to put this big packing cube first, lay the second one on top, and I've got a little room over here on the side, which I can press into service. Maybe this is my underwear, which I'm not showing you. Maybe we'll put that somewhere else. On this side, I'm going to pack my boots. Actually, I'm going to wear these, but I will have another pair of sneakers. I'm taking 2 pairs of sneakers and 1 pair of boots total. That way, if one of my sneakers gets wet, I've got another one. Okay, so there are my, and then I can put my underwear here. Since I go to Italy a lot, I have a hair dryer for Italy, so I'm taking that with me. My cosmetic bag, and oops. The socks I actually tend to put right inside of my shoes, so they don't take up any extra room. And I have a plug with multiple ports here, what I'll need in Italy. And I've still got actually a little bit of room. I can take more stuff. Oops. Didn't close this. So here we go. By the way, I am using an Away, the larger carry-on size, which does fit into the overhead compartment. This is not sponsored, but I do love my Away suitcase. Here it is. And I can easily lift it. Well, maybe not easily, but anyway, I can lift it. So I'm ready to go. Bon voyage. Now that I've got my suitcase packed, I can turn my attention to my personal item, where I put all the things that I'm going to need on the airplane and throughout the trip. I'll talk about what I use for a personal item, what I put in it, and how I pack it in this video here. Please watch.